Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of this unconventional support series. Today we're going to be looking at Wukong as support. Now I'm assuming that you know how to play Wukong at least at an average level, so in this guide it's more on how to play him as a support rather than teaching you Wukong mechanics and all that type of thing. So just quickly, what are some reasons on why you would pick Wukong support? Well, he is strong in lane, he's good in trading, he can engage fights, he has CC and peel with his ults. He innately builds tanky for the team because he goes for items such as Face of the Mountain, Locket, Frozen Heart, depending on the situation. So summoner abilities. It's a toss-up between Exhaust and Ignite, depending on what you're going against and depending on your preference. Exhaust is always a safer option in my opinion, so you've got an extra peel there for your AD carry. Now the runes for Wukong, I just go with the standard Thresh one, which just has some attack damage and some tanky stats, so some armor and some magic resist. I've noticed that it's pretty common for Wukong players to run 5% cooldown reduction, but I wouldn't do that. I'd rather go with the magic resist to be more tanky for the team and hopefully be more useful. So with the Masteries, you could go two ways in my opinion. You can go either a more protective style, or you could go an aggressive one which would have Thunderlords. So if you went the more protective style, you'd go 12 in Cunning and 18 in Resolve. So in Cunning, the last thing you'd have is Bandit, so you can get more money, so you can get those tanky items and support items for the team. And in the Resolve, you'd go all the way down to Bond of Stone to reduce the damage your AD carry is taking. But if you wanted to go more aggressive, I'd go with 18 in Cunning and 12 in Resolve. So if you go 18 in Cunning, you want Thunderlords at the bottom, which is pretty easy to proc with the Wukong, especially if you go in with your E. Maybe chuck in an auto attack in there and your Q, so you can easily get 3 attacks, and you can use decoy to run away unharmed. So the starting items I use for Wukong is just the standard relic, shield and potions, and the yellow trinket. So as you know, the relic shield just to proc the heals for your AD carry, so even though you're a Wukong with no shields or heals, the relic shield at least will provide a little bit more sustain for your AD carry so he can stick around longer. It also gives you some combat stats, so a little bit of health, so that will help you in trades a little bit more. And it can also lead into the Face of the Mountain, so later on you can get Face of the Mountain and use the shield on your carries to protect them. The skill build with Wukong. It's a bit of an option between starting with your E or your Q. I prefer going E first to get some harass on someone who's out of position early, so you just E on them and then chuck in an auto attack if you can. Second, I'd go Q if I started E first, so you can EQ and then just walk away, and that's a good trade. I'd go W second, the decoy, only if you're under some serious pressure and trading won't be very good for you. Like, you'd go in and then you just take more poke than you're gonna dish out to them. So that's when I'd go W second. And I'd max the E first, so your little leapy thing is off cooldown faster and it does more damage, and I'd max Q second to be more useful. So in laning phase, standard relic shield protocol is use the relic shield on siege as priority, and then melee minions after that, and try to do it on cooldown, so the sooner you use it, the sooner the relic shields will get off cooldown, so then you get more money. But if you wait around for too long, while you have 2 stacks of relic shield and don't proc any, then you're just going to miss out on money for yourself in the long run. I think relic shield is essential for the supports who have no shields, heals, or any of that kind of like innate support abilities. So you're giving your AD carry some kind of sustain and some way to stay in the lane more safely and for longer periods of time. So your trading combo would be the E plus auto attack plus Q, and you can then W and walk away. You do all that damage and then just walk away with no harm done to you. The drawbacks of that though, with using the decoy, is you're going to run out of mana really fast if you do that repeatedly. Also, chucking in that auto attack after the E, it's a bit risky sometimes, so you've got to judge it. Like, if you're against, let's say, a Sona and Ez, then you go in on Sona, you chuck in the auto attack, and then you do the Q. That 1 second of auto attacking might cost you a lot of HP if they turn around and poke you really fast, so you've got to gauge when you've got to let go of that auto attack. Also, when playing Wukong support or any support that doesn't have any innate protective abilities, you've got to make your presence known so they don't walk all over your AD carry. So you've got to stand kind of near the enemy without taking free harass, but you can't just sit back and let them walk all over your AD carry, because what will happen is they'll zone out your AD carry, and your AD carry will miss farm and miss CS just because your presence isn't being shown. So sometimes you've even got to go in with your EQ just to disrupt them a bit, just so they know that they're not gonna, hit your AD carry for free, that you're actually gonna go in and attack them if they get too close. Also with Wukong, it's better to go John Rambo, because Wukong does so much damage early, and again, if Wukong doesn't have any shields or heals, so if you're against some kind of poke comp in the bot lane, you guys are just gonna get dwindled down till you have no HP, so it's better to fight when you're more fresh. But you cannot go John Rambo if your AD carry is not willing to, because so many AD carries, they just want to sit back and farm. So you've got to know what kind of AD carry you're working with. A funny trick you can do is using your W, your decoy, to absorb abilities. So, for example, when a Thresh is about to hook, if you use the decoy, I'm 80% sure that when you use the decoy, somehow Wukong gets behind his decoy, so Thresh hooks the decoy instead of you. So he's kind of like a very troll counter to Thresh and Blitz in that way. So that's a nice little trick, and obviously that's going to work against Morgana bindings and all kinds of things like that, so that's one thing to consider. Now at level 6 you obviously have some serious kill potential with your ult, so if you're 6 before the enemy, it's a very good time to go all in. An ideal combo is E, Q and R. Note that sometimes trying to get the Q will result in the enemy dashing or flashing or even walking away from your ult. So sometimes you got to settle for just an E and then an ult straight away, so they don't have time to dash away or flash away. So you've got to gauge when you can fit in that Q and when you can't. And yeah, sometimes you can use your decoy first if you want to engage a fight. So then your position is a bit unpredictable when you leap into them and try to ulti them or something like that. Now moving on to the items. First off, if you're Wukong support. Alright, so I had a little rant about vision and sightstone in my last video, the Yasuo support. So just because you're Wukong support, that doesn't mean you get to neglect sightstone and vision. Because sightstone is good for Wukong anyway because it gives him that tankiness, and vision is just way too important to neglect. You need a sightstone. In my opinion, you can't get by with just using the yellow trinket, even though it got a little bit of a buff in the last patch. So make sure you get that sightstone, get that important vision for your team. Everyone's gonna love you, it's gonna be great. So Black Cleaver is the core item for Wukong. So you can build parts of it if you're doing well with your gold, but if you know your Black Cleaver is going to be really late, then make sure you get your Sightstone in the middle. So maybe you can get a piece of Black Cleaver, finish your Sightstone, then finish off Black Cleaver. But in my opinion, you should get the Black Cleaver so you at least do some damage and some armor shred for the team, as opposed to just going complete support style with Base of the Mountain, Locket and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty preferable to get the magic resist boots for Wukong, so then you don't get slowed that much or CC'd, so you can go in and ult and all that stuff with no hassles. But I would go mobility boots if you want to do some serious roaming. So maybe after you've destroyed the bottom tower and you want to go roam top or something like that. So just choose between those, and it's really a situational thing. Also, if you're a bit crazy like me, you could get distortion boots like in Annie would for the flash engage, so your flash just comes off cooldown faster. A standard build for me with Wukong is Black Cleaver, Sightstone, Mobility Boots or Magic Resist Boots, Base of the Mountain, Locket, Frozen Heart, then more damage, or a situational item like Thornmail. So there's flexibility there. If they don't have much magic damage, then you don't have to get the Locket, and that kind of thing. So that's kind of like a base build and you can work around it. Also, if somehow you're getting all the kills, then go a typical Wukong build. If you're ahead, try to get the damage items, because let's say somehow you accidentally stole 5 kills from your AD carry. Your AD carry now is just like working off assist money, so you're pretty rich and ahead of the other teams. So just build how normal Wukong would build, so Black Cleaver, Ghost Blade, Trinity Force, you know, like build Glass Cannon, go like full damage, and then later on you can build some tankiness, so maybe 1 or 2 damage items and then start going tanky. But make sure you have your Sightstone, for God's sake. You can also experiment, so Relic Shield, Sightstone is the core in my opinion, the rest is in your hands. Alright, Wukong in teamfights. Usually you can decoy and then E, ult. You could also flash ult or flash E ult, depending on the distance the enemy's at. Flanking is always good, so if they're all in the middle sieging your tower or something, you can go around in the river and try to flank them from behind, so you're getting their carries in your ult as well, and try to go for the priority targets with your ult. Generally you want to get the priority targets in your whirlwind, your ultimate, but if you can get a big amount of players, then do that, even if they're tanky. Even if you got like a Garen, a Cho'Gath and a Galio in your ult, that's 3 people, so that's pretty good. And yeah, the CC and the armor shred would still be worth it, so even though there's a Zed and a Caitlyn outside your ult, it's still decent, so you can gauge it that way. Usually try to get a carry in your ult, but if you get a whole bunch of people, that's still really good, because you're CCing them and they're not able to contribute in the fight for the other team. Also, it is worth using your ult on just one person if it means securing a kill, and then you can go on to do 5v4, so just getting a pick with your ult. You can also use your decoy to absorb some abilities in fights, so you go in there and then you kind of time it, you're like, yep, this guy's going to throw this ability down now, I'll just decoy, walk away. You should also have your Face of the Mountain to use on your AD carry mainly, or whoever may need it, so it's just situational on who's taking damage. Similarly to Yasuo's ult, it's worth using your ult to peel for your AD carry if he's got some big pressure on him and he's going to go down. So yeah, you can use the ult, the whole ult, on just the guy that's chasing your AD carry to let your AD carry get some distance or kill him within the CC time, or he can escape. Team synergy, so what works good with Wukong, or what is a good team for Wukong to be a part of, is a team with a Yasuo. So Wukong can do the knock up for Yasuo. Also if you have like a Katrina for a massive team fight, AoE comp, or Oriana so she can put the ball on you, you dash in, you ult, she ults. Basically any huge area of effect things like Amumu, Annie, like wombo combos. The AD carries Wukong goes well with are any AD carries that want to fight, so Graves, Vayne, that kind of thing. He also works well with Misfortune's ult. Also Callista could use that passive onto Wukong and then she can throw Wukong in, Wukong can start spinning, so there's really good synergy there as well. Now onto the operation series. This operation is called Fire Prevento. So, in this operation, we're going to make an excuse for someone. The next time someone is late to lane, the next time someone randomly AFKs, we're going to make the excuse for them that they had a child to attend to. Maybe their kid was crying. Maybe they had a guest at the door and they had to get the door. Maybe they had a really important phone call to answer. So always assume the best of everyone. And that's actually a way to make sure that you're calm as well. Because if you assume good about people and you believe the excuses you're making for them, then you don't feel any grudges toward them and you don't feel any anger. Similarly, the next time a Vayne condemns a player into safety, make an excuse for him or her. So maybe they just haven't played Vayne a lot, or maybe they misclicked and they accidentally condemned, or they have bad vision and really they thought that the guy was going to hit the wall but he wasn't. So yeah, just try to make an excuse for them. Well, that's it for this video, guys. If you found the content to be of use to you, then please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.